Thank you everyone for joining us on our communications module. Communication is defined as the process of sending and receiving messages through verbal or non-verbal means. Communications form a major part of our lives as it forms the bedrock of our interactions with others. Today, we will be sharing with you more about how we can communicate with our seniors. 牛头不对马嘴, which literally means a horse's straw doesn't match a cow's head. This idiom is used to show that the answer does not match the question, showing how although both may be speaking, you do not understand what the other is saying and vice versa. Before we begin communicating, we need to understand a bit more about the other person. Take some time to recall when was the last time you spoke to a senior. Was it easy to understand him or her? Here are the key learning points that we sincerely hope you will take home with you, internalize it, and apply them to the best of your abilities as you journey with us in TriGen or your other community initiatives. We will go through number 1, aging and what it brings. Number 2, communication is a two-way process using the STOP acronym. Number 3, how to start conversations right using some pickup lines. Number 4, maneuvering through conversations using carrying on lines. And last but not least, tips for caring for others. In communicating with the seniors, it is crucial to know about and to educate ourselves on aging and what it brings. Seniors can have reduced bone density and muscle mass, therefore they appear less strong and less able to carry out heavy work. They are also more prone to fractures after falling. They can have worn-out cartilages and decreased sensation in their feet. Some seniors may have difficulty falling asleep or have a tendency to wake up at night, and some can be easily tired. Some seniors have reduced hearing, therefore they might have difficulty discerning words in conversations, causing them to have a tendency to hold back on conversations out of frustration or maybe even embarrassment. Seniors can also have reduced vision because of farsightedness or cataracts, and they can be slightly more hesitant to venture out to an unfamiliar environment. These are some common issues that the seniors face. Spiritual, as they may question the point of their existence. Physical and psychological, as they face with medical conditions. Emotional, relational, and social issues, as they may feel detached from their family members when their children move out or when their friends or loved one passes on. Here comes the first magic trick, Communication 101. All you need to do is stop. S stands for simplify. Use terms that are easier for the seniors to understand. For example, when talking to seniors about their condition, medical terms such as hypertension, hyperglycemia, etc., they might not be able to understand, especially if they don't really communicate in English. So how will you bring across their condition to them then? Yes, you can use their native language or dialect, which helps them to understand better. T stands for tone. Always show respect. Adjust your speed and loudness of your words. You will be surprised. For seniors who are hearing impaired, sometimes they may feel that you are actually shouting at them and ask you to talk softer. O stands for observe. Listen and look out for any risks or problems that the seniors may be facing during your conversations. It is important to detect risk factors during these conversations. Go ahead and ask them questions to understand them better. Go through your team leaders if you're not confident enough. P stands for posture. Pay attention to your own non-verbal cues. Example, don't cross your arms, always lean forward and maintain an open position. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Whatever you do, always remember to stop and lend the seniors your ears. But hey, it's easier said than done. Some of you may be wondering, how do we stop when we don't even know how to start? Here are some of the potential struggles that you may face during your home visits. Number 1, generation gap. Having differences in interests and opinions leading to an inability to relate. Number 2, feeling awkward. You'll be struggling to find the right words to say. For this, you can read back the emotions that was at play. For example, this must have been an upsetting experience for you. Number 3, language barrier. Not knowing what the seniors are saying, and the seniors also don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry, All these are normal. Even for myself, I do struggle in communicating with people too. So it's completely okay if you face such issues, as long as you are willing to try, to learn, and to give your best. Your team leaders will help you. I'm very sure that the seniors themselves will have a good time talking to you too. Moving on, I'll share about how to start conversations right. Why is it important to start conversations right? Being able to relate to others well allows us to effectively manage tensions. The way we start our conversations sets the tone, the climate of the group. So it's either a supportive or defensive climate. Of course, the tone and climate is not fixed throughout the entire conversation. If it was a bad start, depending on how we maneuver through the conversations, we can save our communication and hence our relationship with the other person. But the initial tone and the climate of the group will affect the course of our communication adversely and increase tensions in the group. So isn't it better to start it right? We will have to take into account the status, the roles, and the culture of the people in the conversation. Remember to always introduce yourself and your role, and the need to respect the seniors, and also the culture that the seniors are from. So how do I start my conversations right, you may ask? Here comes the second magic trick, pick up lines. Please don't go around telling your elderly things like, I'm lost, can you give me directions to your heart? Or, are you a magician? Because whenever I look at you, everyone else disappears. The pick-up lines here refer to the ways in which we can start our conversations, or what we call conversation starters. For example, you can ask them, how have you been? How has your health been? Do you know what are some of the topics we can use to talk to the elderly about? Any guesses? So, here are the 4 main topics that you can talk about. Number 1, family. Number 2, occupation. Number 3, recreation. Number 4, dreams. Of course, this list is not exhaustive. You can talk about other things such as food, music, etc. Don't be too fixated on what topic to talk about during the home visit. We don't always have to be the one leading the conversation. Follow the pace of the elderly and let him or her direct the conversation as well. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Let's go! Okay, before you go, I need to let you know how do you get unstuck if you ever get stuck during a conversation. It is completely common and normal to get stuck during a conversation when there's nothing else to say after. So, how do we save ourselves from getting stuck? You can talk about something else or do an activity with the elderly. The intention is really to get to know your elderly better and not just carrying on the conversation for the sake of continuing. So how do we carry on our conversations when we get stuck? Here comes the third magic trick, carry on lines. Remember that communication is a two-way process, an exchange, a transaction, and this is an important characteristic of communication that we tend to forget. When we communicate with others, we tend to forget about the other person. It's always about us, our needs, our interests, etc. We try to lead the talking, and when we do listen, more often than not, we listen to reply. We don't listen to understand. We interrupt each other. We assume everyone is in the same page without clarifying. To carry on our conversation in the event that we really get stuck, use the 5W plus 1H. It is a very good way to ask open-ended questions when you're stuck to get the elderly to talk more about themselves. Remember to engage the elderly in conversation and let them do most of the talking. We recognize that language barrier is a common issue. Therefore, we have prepared this document containing basic Hokkien, Cantonese, and Malay phrases so that you can also use during your home visit. Throughout your journey in TriGen, there will definitely be many unexpected situations in the planning and execution stages. In the planning stage, you may be unsuccessful in planning for visits. For example, the senior did not pick up the phone when you are trying to find a good date to visit, or maybe the senior's family changed their minds and do not wish for the senior to be in this program any longer. These are all possible scenarios. What you can do then is to inform the nurse and seek advice and support from the operations member. There may also be obstacles in executing the planned visit. For example, the team may be planning to bring the senior out for one visit, but the senior was suddenly not feeling well that day. What will you do then in that situation? Well, there's no real answer we can give you. As cliche as it may sound, you have to expect the unexpected. There are other tips to dealing with unexpected situations, like managing your expectations. We definitely hope that you will always be excited and eager to visit your seniors. At the same time, also keep in mind the situations and conditions of your seniors and know what they can or cannot or like or don't like to do and manage your expectations accordingly. Don't lose motivation. Know that this may be normal. Sometimes unexpected things do crop out, and in most cases, they are not because of you. Don't take any unexpected situations personally, and keep your resolve and motivation of joining TriGen close to your heart. Be open-minded. Embrace each new experience and new situations as you will a learning experience. That's what you are here for anyway, to learn while you serve. Take each experience as a growth opportunity and don't lose your drive. But don't worry, whatever it is, you will have your team as well as your team leaders and us to help you out. We also want to take this opportunity to share with you the connection between the heart, head and hand, the power of intentions. The intentions affect your thinking, which will then influence your behavior. If you really put your heart and mind to doing something, then it can be manifested naturally through your actions. You also have to care for yourself before you can care for others. Make sure you are at a healthy emotional level. Do not be too stressed. If during an exam period and you're feeling very stressed, it is okay to ask your team leaders for a break. But we just ask that you don't just go MIA, let your team leader know. The third point is related to the previous slide about expecting unexpected situations. In certain situations where you cannot do anything to change external factors, for example, if a senior suddenly pull out on a visit that you had confirmed already, you must remember that you still have the power to change your own internal self, your emotions, expectations, and outlook. Do what is within your control, like trying to stay positive or seeing if you can postpone the visit to another more convenient date. Do what you can, and whatever is beyond your control, just let it go. Over the years, a lot of students will say that they felt awkward to be in conversations, scared of not being able to continue conversations. Sometimes it is not the conversation that matters, but your presence that matters. There may be some occasions that you may not be able to continue a conversation, but let the elderly set the pace. Don't need to be afraid of pauses or silences. There are elderly who don't really talk much but like to play games or watch TV. Then you can do that with the elderly instead of forcing conversations. To summarize, these are the key takeaways that I really hope you remember. Good communication skills are important for you not just to interact with your seniors but also with the other people, the people that you love. Good communication is one of the essential life skills. Remember, you will have to understand your seniors, you have to understand aging and what it brings. You also need to remember to stop, simplify, tone, observe and your posture. Then learn your pickup lines well. And then subsequently, you can also maneuver through conversations using carry-on lines, your 5W and 1H. And finally, remember that your conversation is to show that you care for them. Alright, this is all that I have for you. Thank you very much for sitting through this entire sharing session. I hope that you have a fun time during your visits. And then hope to see you guys soon. Bye!